We talked about Celtic FC yesterday, which means we should talk about Rangers today, the other half of the old firm. This is their kit from 2016 to 2018. They're another one of those clubs that can boast over 100 trophies in their history, with those 55 league titles compounded by 34 Scottish Cups and 27 League Cups, as well as a European Cup Winners' Cup. And they've also been runners-up in the Europa League twice, including last season. They were founded back in 1872, and Celtic fans are going to jump all over me for that, and that's fine. You can do that in the comments. So let's start with their stadium. That's Ibrox, and it's an iconic stadium for many reasons. The design is the most important one because it was built by the renowned builder Archibald Leitch. No, not that one. Yeah, that one. Ibrox was the first of his stadiums that he built. He was a childhood Rangers fan. He built stadiums all around England and Scotland with names you're going to know being Celtic Park, as well as Anfield, Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, Highbury, as well as White Hart Lane. So this is a video about Rangers, which means we do have to talk about Sevco. So I'm kind of shorthanding this, but in 2012, they were liquidated and had to be sold to another company due to the amount of financial debt, mostly tax debt, that they had racked up. Through all of this, the club was essentially refounded as a new company, which brings into conjecture with a lot of different fans around Scotland if the original Rangers still counts as this current Rangers. Another thing to touch on is they have two official badges, and you see the first one, which has script here on the kit, but also a second one, which you'll see in many different places. So now back to the old firm. So today, let's go through more of the history of it. First match was held back in 1888, and it was actually Celtic's first ever match. It's been played 431 times. All-time Rangers hold the edge with 168 wins to 162 wins. As far as the term Old Firm, it's a little unclear where it came from, with a couple ideas being during the first match, they were called an Old Firm Friends, which is ironic because they're really not. This is a really tough match, and I mentioned that yesterday. It's generally played in the early afternoons in the last 20 years because of the possibility of intoxication of fans. Essentially, the less amount of the day that you have to drink before the match means the less intense you might be about it. That timing change really came from a 1999 rendition of the Old Firm where Rangers sealed the league at Celtic Park late in the season. Since then, the derby that's at the end of the league season generally is scheduled in a way that they try to make it that this isn't a title-clinching match. Most leagues around the world would love for a title-clinching match to be between the two biggest clubs in the entire league, but there's a little too much on the line here. These two dominate Scottish football, with an example being that one or the other has won the league in every season in my entire lifetime. If you're going to know one Rangers name from the past, it's going to be Ali McCoist, seeing as he's their all-time record goal scorer with 355, playing almost 600 games for the club. To name a couple players in their current squad, Stephen Davis, I want to call out because he left the club in 2012 when they were liquidated and refounded as a new version of Rangers. He left the club but has returned in 2019. Second is one of their youngsters, the Romanian Yanis Hagi. And finally, Alfredo Morelos, their Colombian striker, who is their record goal scorer in European competition. And because of his fiery mentality and attitude, is a custom-built player to not play in an Old Firm. He has 9 red cards for the club. So this has been your video on Rangers FC of Scotland.